Welcome to Mitcham Campus today. I've just found out that Miss Hampson hasn't had breakfast this morning, so this might affect the conversation in some way as we go, but it's a wonderful experience for us to be here today because we're going to talk about student agency. That's a sort of schooly term. What do we mean by student agency, Eva?
Yes, so first of all, a disclaimer, I don't normally miss breakfast.
Oh, very good. Okay, that's good to hear.
It's a really important part of our wellbeing. Student agency, it's more than just students being engaged in their learning, but actually having some real and authentic control over it as well. So what we're talking about is moving along a continuum from where perhaps we're participating, we're consulting with children, we're partnering with them, to getting some leadership and advocacy. So we've got a number of things happening in the school at the moment to make sure that this is something that is really authentic and embedded in what we do at the school. So first of all, I've got a team of staff who've been working on a student agency project. They're working with a thought leader in education, Charles Leadbeater. He works internationally. And he's working with them and the Association of Independent Schools South Australia to drive the conversation, making sure that we're on the same page, we've got the same terminology and pedagogy in place. The team of staff are working along a continuum of what does this look like from developmentally from a reception child right up to year 6. Obviously, we need to give the children the tools and the skills to become agents in their learning. And then we have children who are just raring to go as well. So a couple of really lovely examples that are going on at the moment.
I'll just try to pause you for a second. Which other schools are doing this work in town? Are we one of 3, 6, 9? Is everyone doing it these days? How does it work?
There's a group of schools where there's a cluster of schools, so they're not just independent schools, but other schools across the 3 sectors. So we've got independent, we've got the independent Catholic and the department schools as well. I won't name the other schools, but there are small groups of schools doing it, so it's at the forefront of what's going on. We're also involved in an ethics project with a cluster of schools as well, but these are what I'd call cutting edge.
Excellent. Yeah. And we're doing this in the senior school and the junior school. It's a whole school initiative.
It is a whole school initiative, but we're really started off in the junior school, and I think it's really important to see that because of the progression. Up in the senior school, some of the project-based learning that's happening up there is the, I guess, the exit point of that as well.
But forming good habits early is a very important thing for us.
Certainly
Excellent.
is. And also having the tools.
So what's some of the projects that we're doing?
So a nice example is at Year 6 currently, we've got a passion project, which is part of the Year 6 curriculum. The students there have been learning about government and democracy, so they've been given the latitude to go on and develop their own projects. And I've got a student who has been looking into anxiety and tweens and tween wellbeing. And she's actually done a whole lot of her own research and formulated some ideas around this. She's coming up with a tool that she thinks will actually support students in that, and we're going to invite her and her content into our wellbeing consultancy committee. So it's an authentic place for her to take that work.
And we had some students present to the senior school.
We did.
On these matters on Friday.
We did, and this is another nice piece. It's around our values and our wellbeing and our behaviours. The Year 5s did a unit of work around inclusion, and we actually had 4 students, so Harry and Hannah, we had Siona up there as well, and
the 4th name's gone. It'll come back to us, don't worry.
Beautiful. And they stood up and talked about what inclusion means to them from their perspective in a junior campus as well. They actually talked about some really interesting ideas too about individual differences. And one of the big pieces or the big takeaway for them, it's not just about awareness, it's also about acceptance. So how to move that conversation forward. And I've had a group of grade 3 girls come up with a project they'd like the school to get involved in. It's around Jump Rope for Heart, and they're now going to be involved in...
Jump Rope for Heart.
Jump Rope for Heart.
Jump Rope for Heart.
Jump Rope for Heart. And they're going to work on that with our house coordinator, Mr. Trino, but it's a student-led initiative.
Excellent. Well, the students were excellent in assembly on Friday. Siona was one of the students I saw yesterday, talked to her about it. She said it was a big moment, lots of faces looking at me, but they did it extremely well.
Delilah
was the 4th name. We knew it would come.
Absolutely.
Breakfast needs to kick in, I think. But lovely to have this information. Inspiring, progressive, imaginative, cutting edge. We want our students to feel a strong investment in their own education, and that's the way they'll benefit the most and become great students and professionals in the future.